Good morning, and welcome to another Saturday edition of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management. Phone 724-439-2150. Located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you on a chilly Saturday morning, and we're going to get more snow, and it's going to get colder tomorrow. So if you're out and about, bundle up, but do take time out from your meanderings this morning to pick up the phone and give us a phone call. Two-way sports talk, the lifeblood of any sports talk show, and we certainly have an awful lot to talk about in the world of sports. Give me a call. We'll discuss it. 724-438-4593. That is the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. We've got one line open. Once again, that number 724-438-4593. Let's get to the scoreboard, the Mauser Tire Center scoreboard. WPIAL high school basketball from Friday. Boys games right here on WMBS Section 1 in 5A. Uniontown downs the Albert Gallatin Colonial 75-50. McKeesport over the Laurel Highlands Mustangs 59-53. Other Section 1 5A scores. Franklin Regional knocks off Penn Trafford 64-58. Gateway Gators over Greater Latrobe 70-62. Some other local scores. Norwin Knights beat Connellsville 81-34. Greensburg Central Catholic downs the Fraser Commodores 57-32. Jeanette Jayhawks 80, California 33. Thomas Jefferson beats Peters Township 77-54. South Fayette over the Ringgold Rams 59-51. Beth Center beats Mapletown 78-26. Jefferson Morgan Rockets take Burgettstown 58-47. It was the West Green Pioneers 70, the Mikes of Carmichael's 47, and the Southmoreland Scotties beat Elizabeth Forward 64-49. Other action in girls high school basketball. Uniontown over Albert Gallatin 60-25. Carleton beats Jefferson Morgan 38-26. Turning our attention to the National Hockey League. The Detroit Red Wings beat the San Jose Sharks 4-2. Carolina Panthers over Florida 9-1. Final in a shootout, St. Louis Blues beat Tampa Bay 3-2. Nashville over Colorado 7-3. And in a shootout, Anaheim nips Los Angeles 3-2. In the NBA, Indiana Pacers beat New Orleans 127-119. Cleveland Cavaliers over the Philadelphia 76ers 117-115. Brooklyn downs Chicago 112-109. In overtime, LA Clippers beat Toronto 121-117. It is a final from the Houston-Minnesota game. Houston Rockets beat the Timberwolves 110-105, and Sacramento takes Washington 128-115. So that is a look at our scoreboard. Turning our attention to sports obituaries, this one hit close to home. Really did. Knew the gentleman very, very well. One of my favorite Pittsburgh Pirates from back in the day. Dave Justy, a reliable reliever who spent 15 years in the major leagues and helped the Pittsburgh Pirates win the 1971 World Series title, has died. He was 86 years of age. Justy died on Sunday of last week. And the right-hander went 193 with a 3.60 ERA in 668 career appearances for 5 clubs from 1962 to 1977. He began his career as a starter in Houston, but had his greatest success with the Pirates, who acquired him from St. Louis in October of 1969 and then moved him into the bullpen full-time. Justy led the National League with 30 saves in 1971, then added 10 and two-thirds scoreless innings in the playoffs as the Pirates beat the Giants in the NLCS and then Baltimore in 7 games in the World Series. Justy made his lone all-star appearance in 1973 when he played 7 seasons for Pittsburgh. He played 7 seasons for Pittsburgh, registering 133 saves, which still ranks 4th in franchise history. And he split time between Oakland and the Chicago Cubs in 1977 before retiring. A native of Seneca Falls, New York, Justy played collegiately at Syracuse before being signed by Houston, then an expansion team known as the Colt 45s. As an amateur free agent, he signed with them. He appeared in 22 games as a rookie in 1962, spent all of 1963 in the minors before returning to the majors for good after being called up during the 1964 season. One of my favorite former Buccos, great guy, Dave Justy, passing away at the age of 86. Okay, we're going to open up the phone lines. Your chance to get up on the soapbox and be heard. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is fair game. And certainly we've got a lot of topics. The Mike Tomlin resignation with the Steelers and their new coaching search. The coaching carousel in the NFL. National Football Championship game, the College Football Championship game Monday night in Miami, Indiana, and the Miami Hurricanes. NFL playoffs, the divisional round, college basketball, anything you want to get into, we'll talk about it. You simply pick up your phone. Now the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. And we do have one line open if you'd like to jump in to the conversation. Let's take our first phone call of the morning. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline. Hello. I don't know whether he turned us on. Charles, are you there? Hello. Going once, going twice. Well, Charles got waylaid, so that opens up both of our phone lines. If you want to jump in to the sports conversation, great time to do it right now. Call the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. Certainly, seismic news from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, after that devastating loss to the Houston Texans in the wild card round, on Monday resigned as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it set off a domino effect, and they have begun their coaching search, and they're interviewing potential coaching prospects. And they've had a couple of conversations so far. If you want to get into that, we can do that. And do come ahead with your questions and comments on that. And we've got, of course, the NFL divisional playoffs going on. The Penguins, after a 3-game losing skid, snapped that skid. They are actually in 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division after playing some really bad hockey, and they're in action tonight at home against Columbus. All right, let's go to the phone lines now. Take our first phone call of the morning. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Hi, George. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'll fill in this leadoff spot for the legend right now, but I don't know if I'm going to do that great of a job, but I'll try.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm kind of happy this week. I'm kind of glad we're moving on from coaching with the Steelers right now. I think it's time for a fresh change. And I just hope, I mean, my feeling is we got to get an offensive-minded coach in there right now.
Well,
and,
that's not lining up that way. They've got two offensive guys they're going to talk to. Shieldhouse, who I believe they've already chatted with from the Rams, their passing game coordinator, and they've requested a conversation with Clay Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. All of the other guys are defensive coordinators.
I mean, it's going to be a hodgepodge, George, but, I mean, to me now we got to get, I mean, first of all, Rodgers got to go. I mean,
that's a foregone conclusion. I don't believe he'll be back. Yeah.
And the draft ain't loaded in quarterback.
Well, I don't think they're going to get their quarterback in this year's draft. Everybody was pointing to this year, but it didn't turn out that way. The only one that I'm really sold on is Mendoza from Indiana, but he'll be gone long before the Steelers pick.
Well, I look for, the Raiders. I'd look for them to, with Brady being there, and his say-so. But, I mean, George, I don't want to go through another digging up these Jameis Winstons. And, well, I guess even on any show now said that the Malik Willis, he could be there. But
well, Malik Willis is a young quarterback who played behind Love in Green Bay. And when he's had an opportunity, when Love has been hurt, he hasn't looked that bad. I think the only caveat I would say about him is what's the price tag going to be?
Right, and I don't think he's your franchise quarterback.
He may not be, but he may. They may have to have a bridge quarterback until they get to next year's draft.
I mean, George, this is what gets me now. Mason. When Mason Rudolph filled in and that, I always had. I don't know. I never really had. He's not an NFL. Why at least in the Down syndrome when they were going in, at least give Will Howard a chance.
Oh, they're going to look at him, but I'm not sold on him being the answer either. I mean, he was a 6th-round pick for a reason.
I'm not saying anything. Well, Tom Brady was a
he was, but Will Howard compared to Tom Brady, I don't think you can make that comparison.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, in position right there, at least give the kid a chance. He was
he was stymied this year because he didn't get to work out very much. He was injured most of the year.
Yeah, that was bad. And this Roman Wilson thing, you're either going to say he was a flop or I don't know.
Well, I don't know how to feel about Wilson. I don't think he was ever really given a proper opportunity.
That's true, too. But I think they're going to clean house on some of these veteran players they got.
They're going to have to sort through that. They've already said that none of the coaching staff will be back unless the new coach wants to rehire one of them. One of the things that came out of the exit of Tomlin, and I thought it spoke volumes, was the dissatisfaction of most of the players in that locker room with the two coordinators. Huge dissatisfaction. They were very, very upset with Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, and Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator. They weren't upset with Tomlin, but that still falls on Tomlin. He's the guy that hired both coordinators.
But George, the thing about it too is, Arthur Smith. As a head coach, I'm laughing when I see this.
Well, they are interviewing him, and can you believe it? As good as Detroit has been offensively, they actually talked to him about their offensive coordinator's job. Are they watching the same football that I'm watching?
That's what I'm thinking right there. Now, don't Campbell call his offenses too?
He took over late in the season. Now, they had the hotshot guy running their offense. He's the coach of the Bears now, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. But even too now, you take it in Green Bay with Willis, what we were just talking about before. LaFleur's one of these ones can take a quarterback into his own hands.
Well, there's a very interesting situation going on in Green Bay. A very interesting situation. The reports are that they're not happy with LaFleur. And, I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but if he would become available, if I were the Steelers, I'd be jumping through hoops to talk to him.
Well, 1,000,000% guaranteed with me, George. We're on the same page here. Now, the only coach that I like what the Steelers got right now is the gum chewers. What's his last name?
Danny Smith. Danny Smith.
I like the guy.
He's the special teams coordinator, and he actually interviewed yesterday with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. Special teams.
I really liked Danny, and I think he does a pretty good job on special teams.
And I think if I was,
personally, he's one of my favorite people in that whole organization. I really like Danny an awful lot.
And throughout the years, the Steelers used to have weak special teams going back in time. But this guy, Steelers special teams, was one of the bright spots of the Steelers this year. This guy had energy. For a 72-year-old guy, he got out there. You made a mistake.
Once again, nothing's going to happen with him unless the new head coach wants him. So they have to get a new head coach in place before anything can happen there.
We lost our best special teams player in Killebrew, but this Chronic, my God, you'd have
he made the Pro Bowl. He made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, you'd have the two best special teams player in football right now on his team.
But as I said, that's putting the cart before the horse. You got to get a head coach first.
Right, that's true. Okay, George, I'm going to change my rant a little bit now to baseball. How much richer can the Dodgers get right now?
Unbelievable. Kyle Tucker is a nice player, but he is not a 60. This is the problem that baseball has right now. And it's why I think at the end of this collective bargaining agreement, we're headed for a strike. There have to be some changes in baseball. There have to be.
I agree. Tucker. I'll take Tucker on my team anytime. He'll put up the numbers, not a tawny numbers or anything like that.
No, he's a nice piece. He's a very nice piece. Well, how about the deal the Mets did? Can you believe that deal with Bichette?
Oh, that was fantastic. Bo Bichette. Hey, that was a great deal.
Yeah, but did you see the terms of the deal?
No,
He can opt out after 1 year.
Another Bobby Bonilla contract there.
He can leave after 1 year. He can opt out after 1 year. What kind of contract is that?
Almost what they gave Bobby Bonilla. That's what I'm saying right there. But I never heard of that. I didn't know that, George.
That's why the Phillies are really upset. They thought they had agreed in principle to a deal with Bichette.
Oh, really?
And then the Mets came in, and when he got that opportunity that he can opt out of his contract if he wants to, which the Phillies, of course, weren't doing that, he signed supposedly a 7-year deal with the Mets, but it might not be, depending on what he wants to do. And that hurts the Pirates, too, because the Phillies were hoping to get Bichette. They were going to move Stott to third, put Bichette at second, and that would free Alec Boehm up. And I was hoping if they didn't get Suarez, which I think he's going to be too rich for the Pirates' blood, that they might go after Alec Boehm to be their third baseman. That's not going to happen now.
No. But the thing, George, this is another thing. Now, the baseball network's thrown around in different sports shows I've listened to that I guess the pre-Vegas odds right now. They have the Pirates to win less games than they did last year. I'm just saying with the.
Well, they've made some moves, but they still, in my opinion, they still have some holes to fill, particularly third base. I'd like to see them get another outfielder with some pop. Catching is okay, but it's not great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Phillies catcher did Pirates they showed, but he signed to a 3-year contract.
He re-signed with the Phillies.
Yeah, because they said they were.
And I knew that was going to happen. Real Muto was never going to come to Pittsburgh.
Oh no! I say, and I thought that was just almost a bit of propaganda right there out there to throw fans' hopes up there right now. But George, with Cruz, I'm not sold on Cruz in center field. I'm not sold. Now that this kid they got from
He can
Tampa
play
Bay
center field, and he's a great defensive player. Doesn't hit for much power. Does hit for average. He batted 296, and he stole 29 bases. So he's a nice piece.
Right.
But you know, what are you going to do with Cruz? You're not going to put him back at shortstop.
No. And and another thing too that I'm going to say now, and most Pirate fans probably wouldn't want to hear it. Tommy Pham might be a good signing right there to have him as a bench player and a utility player. I mean, most fans don't want to hear it.
If that's what they're going to use it, but they still need to get another outfielder with some pop, because they just don't have enough power in that lineup. O'Hearn was a nice piece at first base, and he can DH, and then he and Horowitz can split time there. I don't know if Connor Griffin's going to start the season, so they're going to have somebody else at shortstop. They need a third baseman. They could certainly use more catching help. I'm not sold on their catching. And then the other thing is they need maybe a couple of more bullpen arms. Oh, the other thing I would like to see them get to add to their starting rotation, I would like to see a veteran starter at the back end of the rotation.
All right. But now it gets me, George, and I never knew he signed with the Dodgers. Why in the heck didn't the Pirates go after Mason Miller? My God. He'd love to play in Pittsburgh, and the Dodgers didn't give
Well, they gave the money to Santana. That's going to be their closer.
And I'll take Mason Miller, George. But they
got Santana for significantly less than they would have to pay Mason Miller.
But even you got a guy with Mason. He's a young arm. He's a local kid right
I
there.
understand what you're saying, but they got a three-time All-Star, and they got him at a very reasonable price, and they're hoping he can bounce back after having an off season with the Mets last year. So they went that route and spent it instead of spending all that money. They wanted to spend that money elsewhere. Where they wanted to spend the money was on a bat. You know.
But George, who really wants to come to Pittsburgh? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, we're back to the way it used to be before Hurdle. Nobody wants to come here with this ownership.
Right.
Listen, I gotta get a break in. I appreciate your call, though. I do.
Okay, thanks, George. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And we're going to get a break in. When we come back, more Open Line Sports Talk right here on the Sports Line right after this timeout.
Looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring, professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or
hi, come on in. How are you?
For personal, professional health care you can trust, see Dr. Paul Hardley and nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckhart, and Stacy Morris, proudly serving our community for over 30 years. Need care today? Walk-ins are always welcome. For your primary care, call Dr. Paul Hartley at 724-437-1109 or visit ppcp.org. Or
serving number 3,940.
Another chance to win big with WMBS and the PA Lottery is going on now through January 31st. Just be the sixth caller to 724-438-4593 when you hear and win $30, $1, $500 a week for life PA Lottery scratch-off tickets. With the Pennsylvania Lottery's new $500 a week for life scratch-off, the $500 just doesn't happen this week. It happens week after week after week. Benefits older Pennsylvanians. Must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly.
ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. 724-208-5281. What makes buying your next vehicle for me worthwhile? I make it a very easy 5-step process. You look, you shop, you ask, you decide. And I listen. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai. I'll make you a good deal.
If you're an athlete, you know the importance of a strong recovery. NovaCare provides several athletic training programs geared toward athletic-related injuries and collaborates with Albert Gallatin, Uniontown, Fraser, California, Jefferson Morgan, Waynesburg, West Green, and Mapletown school districts to help student athletes stay at their best. From coordinating additional specialist care to treating on-site injuries, their experts cater to your personal needs. Specialized services include concussion diagnosis and rehabilitation and treatment for sport-specific injuries. For more information on athletic training at NovaCare, visit novacare.com or contact your local office today.
This is Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Famer Coach Dick LeBeau. You're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on this Saturday morning. I wanted to clear up, I was talking with the first caller about the Bo Bichette deal, and he signed a 3-year, $126 million contract with the Mets, featuring player opt-outs after the first and second seasons, a full no-trade clause, and no deferred money, setting his average annual value at $42 million, one of the highest in baseball. The deal allows him to test free agency again after the 2026 and 2027 seasons, which is similar to recent deals for players like Alex Bregman and Cody Bellinger, and includes significant competitive tax implications for the Mets. So this seems to be the way that baseball is going with some of these contracts. But as I said before, I really think baseball has serious competitive balance problems in the way some of these teams are spending money, and I really think we are headed for a strike at the end of this collective bargaining agreement. That's my opinion. We'll see. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, you're on the Sports Line.
Yes, morning, George.
Good morning.
Talking about the Steelers here, I would say that they have some really excellent candidates out there. They've listed these candidates, and there's probably about 8 good candidates out there. And I would have to say what they need, because of Matt Canada and all the poor offensive coordinators in the past, they do need an offensive coordinator with a mindset, somebody who could mentor a quarterback, kind of like Ben Johnson has done. And they may need to move forward from there. Defensive coordinators, you can pick up a defensive coordinator. Our Achilles heel is we have our offensive coordinators, and they're horrible. If Detroit,
reading between the lines, what you're telling me is you would like to see them hire a head coach with an offensive background.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
A quarterback.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. But there's only 2 of them on their list right now. One is the passing game coordinator from the Rams, Shieldhouse, who I've heard great things about, and the other is not the Kubiak that everybody was looking at, the one in Seattle. His brother, Clay Kubiak, who's the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, and I've heard good things about him. All of the rest of the guys are defensive coaches.
I know, and I think you're going to go back to the same thing, unless they're better at picking these coordinators than Tomlin was. But you're going to go back to relying on offensive coordinators, and I agree with you totally. Detroit's interviewing Arthur Smith,
and I don't understand why.
if they do that, they'll be lucky to break 500. I mean, it's that offense was so good with Ben Johnson heading it up, and to go to Arthur Smith, that would be nuts. But looking at this roster too, this is something that is going to be, they're going to be wanting the candidate to tell them what they're going to do. But I think if I was a candidate, I'd be saying, well, what are you going to do to change things? Because I'm coming in here with really no quarterback. The offensive line that everybody says was a great caliber looked horrible against Houston.
And there's a problem there. I have been saying that I didn't like the offensive line coach for several seasons now.
Well, none of them's coming back.
I think he did a terrible job. What I was never able to fathom, and I think I would have, after he left Denver, when that coaching change was made out there, why in the world would you not try to go after one of the best offensive line coaches you ever had in your history, Mike Munchak?
Oh my gosh, the guy's all-pro, and is he in the Hall of Fame?
I believe he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, but not the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the guy was terrific as an offensive line.
If you listen to people that I knew, like Villanueva and Marquise Pouncey and David DeCastro and folks like that, they said that Munchak was the best offensive line coach they ever worked with.
Well, both sides of the football here, this game showed a lot, and it showed what caliber you're at. You get into the playoffs, and your offensive line, I'm sorry, Fatano looked lost. Guard looked lost a little bit on pass blocking.
And that's going to happen. You're playing the top defense of the National Football League with two of the best edge rushers in football.
But at the same time, the defensive line, to have those guys run on them the way they did, the defensive line is like Swiss cheese. Everybody talks about Patrick Queen. Yeah, he's great when he's unblocked. But this defense is not what it's cut up to be. It's overrated, and I think it needs to be tore down and started over.
Well, one of the things that came out of Tomlin leaving is we heard from several of the players, many of them from that locker room, overwhelmingly. Now, you read between the lines here. Overwhelmingly, they were not unhappy with Tomlin. They were extremely unhappy with Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, and Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator. They had no faith in either of their coordinators. Now, of course, that falls on Tomlin, too, because he hired both those guys.
Yeah, and he had stuff to do with the defense, despite what anybody said. I mean, he's a defensive mind. He's going to be more involved in that.
He had a lot to do with the defense. The only guy who had autonomous control of the defense in recent years was Dick LeBeau.
Right, and I mean, let me ask you a true question about that. With LeBeau and Tomlin, he inherited LeBeau.
Yes.
And my question is, do you think through time he couldn't wait to get rid of LeBeau?
Oh, yes.
That's my feeling.
And they used the excuse that Keith Butler was the coach, a coach in waiting, that they did not want to lose the linebacker. And I love Keith. I really do. Great linebacker coach. He was not Dick LeBeau. And the excuse that LeBeau didn't have anything left in the tank, he left and joined the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, where did he go? Yeah, for 2 years?
2 years, and he led them to an upset in the playoffs over Kansas City. He had plenty of left in the tank.
Yeah, so it was something, and I think even with Butler, that wasn't his choice. It was somebody that was left over from LeBeau, and I don't think he was really hog wild about him. These were the coaches that he wanted, and they were absolutely terrible. Nothing from his coaching tree. And I just think there's something more fishy to him.
Despite what somebody in Pittsburgh keeps putting on the internet, that he has he has no coaching tree.
No, there's nobody. Yeah. I mean, I would be shocked to my toes if anybody hires Arthur Smith as a head coach or an offensive coordinator. I don't see how he's going to get a job.
Well, and yet he's being interviewed, which boggles my mind.
That doesn't mean he's going to get the job. But with this Tomlin, he was signed to 27, and there's questions here. When you listen to him, he says it was time. But when you listen to Rooney, he says, well, he had to attend to family matters and family issues.
Reading between the lines, Rooney was more than willing, I think, to roll another season with Mike.
He had the contract. That's what I thought, because people kept calling for his head, and I'm thinking, he's not going to be doing anything until 27.
There would have been other changes, of course, but Rooney, I think, would have rolled another year with Tomlin.
Yeah, because that's what his contract was, correct? He was guaranteed 26.
Yeah. So, as I said, it's in the rearview mirror right now, and they've got to make the right choices here. Somebody came up with an interesting comment to me the other day. They're talking about Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, who I've heard great things about.
Yeah, he should be number 1 or number 2.
What about, and it would be a promotion for both, because you were talking about the need for offense. I could roll with Shula as the head coach and Shieldhouse as the offensive coordinator.
They've talked about that, coming with it, because I think they were saying that if you wait on Shieldhouse, he might not be ready this year, but he's going to be ready in a year or two. He's going to be really sought after, and you're going to miss him. So they were looking, they had mentioned that. What about bringing both in? But I don't know how that's going to work. I think they would work together good.
Well, they work together already, so
yeah. So I think they would go to. But would they both do that? Because now eventually you would say Shieldhouse would leave because he would be off the job.
There are going to be a couple other names that are going to be coming out. I'm not quite sure. Now the other thing, a lot of my NFL sources, and I don't know how people are going to feel about this, a lot of them think that the Steelers are really, really taking a long, hard look at Brian Flores.
I would say you lose me with that. You lose me, because you have an opportunity to change things around, and what you're doing is you're going right back into the Tomlin mold. And
he was only with Tomlin 1 year.
I understand that, but he had issues in Miami. He's had issues at different places he's been, and you're going with that defensive mind, and he's a retread, and I think you have an opportunity to go a different route. Look at Chicago. They went that route, and they're top 4 team right now.
Now, the other thing that I'm keeping a close eye on, and I mentioned it to the first caller, is what's going on in Green Bay.
There's a brother too that wasn't there a Mike?
He's with the Rams.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur. But could you get him for a 2nd-round draft pick if they were unhappy with him?
Well, I'm keeping an eye on that, because I think LaFleur is a pretty good coach.
I think he's very good, and he sits the offensive mindset and can mentor a quarterback.
Now, looking a little bit further down the road, and this is all speculation, if something would happen and you could get LaFleur, well, then Malik Willis makes sense as a stopgap quarterback.
Yeah, I think it would. And I think even if you went down the road and drafted a quarterback, you would have a guy to mentor him. One last thing, the T.J. Watt issue. You spent all kind of money on this guy, more money than the guy from Cleveland, 7 sacks all year.
Well,
now the question is, do we keep him?
The guy that, T.J., he pretty much made his feelings known. He was very unhappy with the defensive coordinator. Very unhappy, to the point where he was discouraged.
Well, I think things have to change. And here's my point with the Brian Flores. You get a Brian Flores, you're not going to be able to keep up, I think, even in your division. You're going to have Baltimore going after a coach. You're going to have Cleveland going after a coach. And I think if these two teams get the right coach, they could step ahead of you. Mm-hmm. They have draft picks coming up. Baltimore already has somewhat of a good, solid foundation. They need a pass rush, but they have the draft coming up, and if they get the right kind of coach for them, offensive, definitely Baltimore would look for Lamar Jackson. Cleveland probably the same thing if they could keep Schultz as their defensive coordinator.
Let me throw out another
name. Step ahead.
Let me throw out another name that the media seems to be enthralled with in Pittsburgh, although he's not on the list. Kevin Stefanski.
I think he's a fit. I think he got a raw deal in Cleveland all because of the Deshaun Watson thing. I mean, that threw that franchise back 2 years.
It threw him back 10 years with the contract and everything. That was a disaster. Listen, I got to move along. Thank you for the call.
Thanks.
Take care. Let's get another break in here real quick. Back with more on the Sports Line right after this.
You may have noticed a new internet company knocking at your door with claims like, "I'm not here to sell you anything," or "I wouldn't lie to you." The truth is, Armstrong has played an important role in your community for decades, and we're not going anywhere. That new internet provider will probably change their name, get bought out by another company, or fold completely. Armstrong, the internet you count on, the people you trust. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com today or anytime in the future.
Find more snuggle time this winter and be prepared for the cold with the help of First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County. With a home improvement loan, a home equity loan, or home equity line of credit, you can finally upgrade that old furnace, take care of that leaking roof, or replace those outdated floors. Keep the cold out and the warm and cozy in your home this winter. Visit a loan officer today or apply online at ffgc.bank. First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 458729.
Ready to upgrade your home? At Ferris Carpet and Tile in Uniontown, you'll find premium flooring at prices that fit every budget. From plush carpet and durable vinyl to stunning hardwood tile and custom showers, Ferris has the styles and craftsmanship to bring your vision to life. Their expert team makes installation easy, fast, and done right the first time. Visit the showroom today and discover why homeowners have trusted Ferris for years. Ferris Carpet and Tile, quality you can stand on.
Chris Parker Jr., it's a new year and a great time to save at Autoland on a new Hyundai.
All with the quality that lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty. Hyundai owner assurance with 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain protection, 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper protection, and unlimited roadside assistance. We still have a great selection of new vehicles at pre-tariff prices and 0% financing. Or how about leasing a 26 Elantra SE for $199 per month or a 26 Kona SE crossover for $219 per month? Just see us for details.
Conveniently located in downtown Uniontown and family-owned for over 60 years, Autoland Hyundai has been voted best in Fayette import dealership and one of the best new car dealerships. Another reason is dealing with friendly hometown salespeople, and the third reason is Autoland's award-winning service department, who will continue to take care of you and your Hyundai after the sale.
You can also visit us at AutolandHyundai.com. And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Casey Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Penguins broadcaster Phil Bork, and you're listening to the Sports Line with George Von Benko on WMBS.
Welcome back to the Sports Line. Moving down the home stretch here in hour number 1. A little programming note. Hour number 2 at 11:30. College football national championship game Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Number 10 Miami, number 1 Indiana going for the national title. We're going to talk about that game and some other interesting news from the college football world at 11:30 with one of my favorite guests, longtime college football writer and editor, Mike Huguenin. Mike Huguenin will join me at 11:30. But right now, more of your phone calls. If you want to jump into the conversation, dial the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. Back to the phone lines we go. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, Charles.
Yes. I'm sorry I wasn't around at the starting gate. I got waylaid, and I had to, frankly, I had to make sure that I stayed in my motor chair, that I didn't tumble out.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
No, so I'm here. And George, first of all, can you tell me what networks have what NFL games today?
Today, Bills and Broncos at 4:30 on CBS. The 49ers and Seahawks at 8 tonight is on Fox. Tomorrow, Texans and New England, 3 p.m. is ABC, ESPN. And then the 6:30 game between the Rams and Bears will be on NBC.
Okay, so that's CBS, Fox, ABC, and NBC.
Right.
Okay, George.
And, of course, reminding everybody you can hear all the games right here on WMBS.
Well, won't the Niners Seattle?
The Niners Seattle game will be preempted by Penguins. Yeah.
Yeah. George, Justy, yes, one of my favorites too.
He had a dynamite palm ball.
On my favorite World Championship team.
The 71. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I think you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the MVP?
Some guy named Clemente.
Yeah, I kind of think I heard of him before. Yeah. I first heard him when I was 5 years old.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Justy was one of my favorites and just a class guy. I always enjoyed catching up with him and talking with him.
Yeah. But anyway, George, couple subjects. Are you going to Pirate Fest this year?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. But if you do, take an identification card, and on the back of it, please spell my name correctly.
I'm going to take one. Well, McCutcheon may not be there because we're not sure what's going to happen with him moving forward yet.
And George, please, to make sure you don't get sick, don't drink any of those stale soft drinks.
Well, yeah, that was one of the better things, selling expired soft drinks.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, George, like you, I hope the Pirates are not done. I mean, they've taken some good steps so far, better than any of the last several previous years. But they're not. They shouldn't be finished.
Well, I don't think they want to be finished, but they really thought they had a shot at Okamoto, and that didn't work out. And Suarez, I would love to see him, but he may be a little too rich for their blood. Yeah.
And that Alex Bohm deal went down the drain.
It did because of what Bo Bichette did.
Yeah. But anyway, you know that. What's that outfielder they got with speed? George,
Markham.
Do you think he could be a good leadoff man?
Oh, yeah, with that speed. He stole 29 bases. He batted .296.
Because
he doesn't have a lot of power. Yeah.
No, I know, but you can't put O'Neill Cruz up on when he strikes out 200 times a year.
Yeah. No. Well, the problem is, where are you going to put, I don't think you play that one outfielder at one of the corner spots. You need a little bit more pop there. He would have to be in center field. Now, what are you going to do with Cruz?
Well, they have to do something with him, but George, I'm sorry to say, I think Cruz's biggest problem is from the neck up.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, he's lazy. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But we've seen this before.
Yeah.
They trade him, and somebody else unlocks everything, and he becomes a star someplace else.
George, about the Steelers, I'd really like to see that daily double from the Rams get in here. You know, Shula is head coach, and with the
Shieldhouse, yeah.
Shieldhouse as the OC. I think that would be the best. Although, just like you, George, I'm intrigued by Kevin Stefanski because here's what I think. The guy was a 2-time coach of the year, so he could coach, and he would be coming to a team with a much better roster than the Cleveland Browns.
Right. And, a little bit better front office than the Cleveland Browns.
Sure.
Yeah.
But really, my number one thing, be Shula as head coach and Shieldhouse as OC.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. There's going to be more interviews. They're going to add a few more names to the list. I'll be interested. And as I said, I'm still intrigued. It's a bit of a long shot, but I'm intrigued by what's going on in Green Bay.
Yeah, with Matt LaFleur.
I really like him. Yeah.
The Packers were a big. A lot of people had them going Super Bowl.
Well, everything changed when they lost Micah Parsons. That defense fell apart. Yeah. Listen, I got to go because I'm up against the news. I appreciate your call.
Okay, George. We'll catch you next week.
All right, you take care. And that puts a capper on hour number 1 of the Sports Line. Do not touch that dial. Another full hour of sports talk coming up after the news. Sports Line brought to you this morning by Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management. Phone 724-439-2150 for Bogies. The news is coming up next from the CBS Radio Network, right here on your local station, 590 AM and 101.1 FM WMBS, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Allison Keys. NASA's massive New Moon rocket is on its way to the launch pad in preparation for the first flyby of Luna in more than half a century. NASA's John Honeycutt.
Really doesn't get much better than this, and we're making history.
More now from CBS's Mark Strassman.
Once the rocket reaches the launch pad, the next major milestone will be a fuel test, loading it with propellant on February 2nd. And if all goes well, NASA could launch Artemis 2 as soon as February 6th.
Troops from several countries are now in Greenland as President Trump ramps up his demands for the U.S. to take it over. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Denmark's former ambassador to NATO saying the U.S. is ungrateful.
I'm angry because I think that this is an affront to an ally that has stood up with the U.S. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, all over the world.
Is the White House being imperial in its ambitions?
The need for control and the need to expand the U.S., that sounds very much like imperialism in my eye.
A new study finds that taking Tylenol during pregnancy does not increase the risk of autism or other mental disabilities. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder explains.
Tylenol or acetaminophen is safe to take during pregnancy, and you should not let a fever or an infection go untreated during pregnancy. Take that Tylenol. If you have an untreated infection or a fever during pregnancy, that itself can increase the risk for having a child with autism.
There are big changes in people's lives as more are using weight loss drugs, including those taking to the air.
Jefferies Research Services says as passengers get lighter, airlines can save on fuel. Its analysis found if drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy lead to a 10% slimmer society, total airline passenger weight would decline by 2%, saving airlines 1.5% in fuel costs. That translates to $580 million in fuel savings a year for the top 4 U.S. carriers, American, Delta, Southwest, and United. Airlines have long tried to reduce weight, going so far as to serve pitless olives. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
It's another huge NFL playoff weekend. Adam Shine at CBS Sports with the preview of the Buffalo Broncos game.
Taking Buffalo. I'm taking Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen
to me. He's Superman, Paul Bunyan, John Elway, all rolled into one. I think he's an unbelievable player. I voted him last year for NFL MVP. He won MVP. Look, I think at this stage, he's not going to be denied. I'm picking Buffalo to win this game, next game, the Super Bowl.
And in Seattle tonight, the Seahawks battle the 49ers. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Blue.com.
There might be a better airport to use on your next local trip.
Going to or from San Francisco? My airport of choice is Oakland. Fewer delays and fewer weather issues. Flying in and out of Boston? I often choose Providence, Rhode Island. My secret alternate airport in Chicago is often Milwaukee. 1/3 of the cars at the Milwaukee airport parking lot have Illinois license plates. And in New York, whenever I'm on a domestic flight, I also look to see which flights I can catch out of MacArthur Airport in Long Island. It's uncrowded, uncongested, no car traffic, and less expensive parking. In fact, my walk from the car parking lot to the gate is about 5 minutes. Peter Greenberg, CBS News.
The robots are in Texas this weekend for the Robot Rodeo in Irving. 92 high school robotics teams from 10 states are competing, and they are battling for 3 spots in the World Championships. We're not talking that friendly-looking robot from Lost in Space, though. These people are serious, and there will be drones. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Happy New Year! Go to Ford of Uniontown and trade me in!
John Clayton with Dominic Carbone from your 7-time President Award-winning Ford of Uniontown. Dominic, Happy New Year to you.
Hey, JC, to you as well. Let me tell you how we are going to get this new year started off right. Take up to $6,000 off MSRP on 2025 F-150 STX and take up to $4,000 off MSRP on 2026 Explorer.
Dang, Dom, that's a deal. Listen, we have great offers on all of our new models. And check this out, leasing is back. Lease offers have gotten significantly better, so stop, click, or call to get all of the details.
Pre-owned, you know we got them. We have over 60 in stock. Most are certified with factory warranty and competitive rates.
We are continuing to offer mobile service, online maintenance appointments, and our very popular pickup and delivery option. Your car knows, shouldn't you? That's Ford of Uniontown on the hill across from Applebee's, or check us out at FordofUniontown.com. Offers include all applicable incentives. Sale ends February 2nd.
A brand new year is here. Why not start it in a home that feels just right? Economy Furnace Company is kicking off the season with our New Year Comfort event. Whether your system struggled through the holidays, or your energy bills went up, or you're ready for fresher air and a more efficient home, Economy Furnace has you covered. This January, enjoy exclusive New Year savings on high-efficiency heating and cooling systems, smart thermostats, and indoor air quality upgrades for year-long comfort. Economy Furnace partners with Amana, offering access to reliable, energy-efficient HVAC solutions backed by exceptional product warranties, innovative technology, and a trusted reputation. Economy Furnace certified technicians make the process easy, from free estimates to fast, reliable installation. Start the year off right, in comfort. Call Economy Furnace Company at 724-438-4575 to schedule your New Year tune-up or upgrade. New year, new comfort, same trusted service. Economy Furnace Company. Your comfort is our commitment.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful. We went to Mutts on Market Street, the dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
Mutts on Market Street, now in the new location, 15 Bridge Boulevard in Brownsville at the old Dukeman's Beer Distributor. Same great service for dogs and cats at the same great prices. Mutts on Market Street, now in the old Dukeman's in Brownsville. For more information, visit Mutts on Market Street on Facebook. Well, much cooler temperatures are here, but you could still enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customer guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings, 724-554-6067 for a no-cost or obligation home consultation. Or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borch.
Hi folks,
Folks, this week on 100% Truth with Sal Santori, we visit with Richard DeForest, steward of the East Huntington Fire Company right here in Taurus. Join us as we talk about very important things the fire company does for veterans and families, our local community, and especially our youth. Hear how the current proposed legislation could affect all Pennsylvanians and PA industry. Join us for coffee every Sunday morning at 6, Monday drive at 5:15, and Tuesday start your lunch at 11:15.
Your local station, WMBS.
Welcome back on board for hour number 2 of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good friend Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you as we forge ahead into hour number 2. And we stay in the open line mode. Your chance to get up on that soapbox and be heard. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is fair game. Certainly, we've had an awful lot of Steelers talk in hour number 1. We can continue in that vein if you would like. There has been some Pirate talk as well as the Hot Stove League continues, and the Pirates still out there looking for a third baseman. We're going to have a great guest coming up at 11:30 at the bottom of the hour. College football national championship game will be played Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, pitting the 10th ranked Hurricanes of Miami of Florida against number 1 ranked Indiana, the Hoosiers. And we'll talk about that matchup with one of my favorite college football guests, a longtime college football writer and editor, Mike Huguenin. Mike Huguenin will join me at 11:30, and there's an awful lot of other news going on in college football as well, and we will get to that. But until that time comes, I'm gazing at a wide open board. If you had some problems getting through, we had a flurry of phone calls in hour number 1. If you had problems getting through, it's a great time for you to jump into the sports talk right now. Pick up your phone and dial the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. That number is 724-438-4593. Once again, 724-438-4593. And you should have no problems getting through. Let's take our first phone call here in hour number 2. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Good morning, George.
Good morning.
It's Mark calling.
How are things in Republic?
They're not bad for the dead of winter.
I heard there's some guy out there wearing Indiana gear running around making all kind of noise.
Yeah, I think that's on Twin Hills Road.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
All right.
That's where he was cited.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, George, about our Steelers, quarterback problem. This guy Howard, right? We haven't seen him.
Well, they're not going to roll the dice with an untrusted. What really set him back is getting hurt. Getting hurt really set him back. Yeah. Now they may give him a shot, but they're going to almost assuredly they're going to try and do something either through the draft, and the draft isn't turning out to be as good as everybody thought it was going to be, or they're going to sign a stopgap quarterback for this coming season. Now, all of that, of course, is on the back burner and on hold until you get a new head coach.
Yeah. Well, maybe the Steelers ought to just consider this like Chuck Noll's first year. How can I say it? And don't worry about the quarterback. Give this kid a chance. Give him let him start 4 games. You know how many great quarterbacks that showed up? Like, San Francisco's Purdy. Wasn't he like the last player drafted?
He was the last player drafted, and attrition got him the job. People get him hurt.
Yeah, and
as I said, attrition got him the job. Yeah.
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 But and Joe Montana, I believe he was picked 99th.
Yeah. And it took him a while to assert himself as well.
Yeah.
But as I said, I don't have anything against Howard. I just don't think they're going to roll that. Now, if he shows them something, well, he'll get a shot. But he hasn't had a chance to show them anything because he's been hurt. He couldn't even play in the preseason last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying right there, George. I just, I just like to see somebody at bat. Somebody, because somebody might turn into a pearl. It seems like if we don't give them a chance at bat, we'll never know.
Well, that's not the way the NFL works. You earn your way in the NFL. You don't get it because, hey, we're going to take a gamble on this guy. That's not the way they do things.
I guess there's too much money at stake here.
Yeah. But as I said, and I think it's a real long shot. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in Green Bay. Because I like LaFleur, and if they're stupid enough to want to try and part ways with him, I would like the Steelers to kick those tires. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, and expanding on that further, well, if that happens, and that's a real long shot, I admit, that's a real long, but if something like that happens, well, then you may, if you can pry him away for a reasonable price, maybe you'd be able to come up with a stopgap quarterback right away, somebody who's already played under LaFleur and has shown well in his system, and that's Malik Willis. But all of that is speculation. Nothing is going to transpire until they finish these interviews and come up with a. Now it's going to happen if timelines tell you anything. The Steeler head coaching search will happen probably before January the 25th. Most of their coaching searches have ended, in January. Either from the 16th or 18th to the 25th of January. So that has been their timeline in the past. Whether that holds true remains to be seen. Yeah.
Okay, touching on one little subject with the Pirates, maybe. Cruz, that center fielder.
Yeah.
The man's 6'7". Why can't you get him to play first base? He likes playing the infield so much.
They got two first basemen now. That's not a spot that they just spent a lot of money on Ryan O'Hearn. That's not a spot that's an opening right now.
I'm surprised he doesn't want to play, being as tall as he is. And not only that, George.
The other thing that people seem to, and boy, if I could get somebody on it who's a friend of mine who's a former first baseman, learning to play first base is not the slam dunk that everybody thinks it is. It's a very intricate position.
Yeah. But I'm still, George, I'm thinking, hey, I'm a professional. Hey, I can play first base till I'm 42 years old, just like Rogers could.
Well, it's easy to think that way, but it doesn't work out that way. And Cruz, my fear with Cruz is going to be that they're going to give up and trade him. And somebody else, somewhere else, is going to...
He'll turn into a pearl there.
And going to unlock that potential. And there have been numerous cases of that. One that immediately jumps to my mind is Jose Bautista. After he left and went to Toronto and became a bona fide home run hitter.
Yeah. Okay, George. All right, that's all I got for today.
All right. Well, thank you for checking in, and keep an eye on that guy running around out there, will you?
All right, George.
All right, take care.
I'll make sure I don't hit him on my bumper.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. And that frees up both of our phone lines. Do come ahead with your questions and comments. What are your thoughts on the Steelers coaching search? Any thoughts on the national championship game Monday night? And it's amazing, two Western Pennsylvania guys deeply involved in this national championship game. Frank Signetti Sr.'s son, who grew up in the Pittsburgh area, Western Pennsylvania area, and the offensive coordinator is a two-sport Norwin star who's one win away from winning the national title, and that's Mike Shanahan. 36 years old, played wide receiver at Pitt, was all Big East, had a few NFL tryouts, and he is the offensive coordinator for the high-flying Indiana Hoosiers. That is a great local story with Kurt Signetti, who also has ties to Morgantown, played quarterback at Morgantown High School when his dad was coaching at West Virginia, and Mike Shanahan, both tied to the national championship game. Penguins will be back in action after snapping a 3-game losing skid with a win over the Philadelphia Flyers the other night. They're at home to the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, and the Penguins are back in third place in the Metropolitan Division with 54 points. Columbus comes in seventh place in the Metropolitan Division with 49 points. But this schedule that the NHL has been forced to adopt because they're going to take time off for the Olympics, with all of these back-to-backs being forced on teams, is taking a toll on the NHL in more ways than one. It's taking a toll with less rest and more injuries occurring, and it's taking a toll on teams that are forced to play in a lot of the back-to-backs. The numbers aren't particularly great with that, this accelerated schedule has really made things so things are very, very jumbled up in almost every division in the NHL because of that accelerated schedule. Once again, we are in the open line mode. If you had some problems getting through earlier on the show, I'm looking at a wide open board. You should have no problems getting through. Pick up your phone. Give me a call on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. 724-438-4593 is the number to call. 724-438-4593. Your ticket to conversation. Back to the phone lines we go this morning. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline.
Good morning, George. I was wondering if you've seen that kid that played against Georgia. He played for Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss, I believe his name is, quarterback.
I've seen him play quite a bit, yes.
I was wondering, I haven't heard anything about him. I think he's been...
Well, he's trying for a 6th year of eligibility, has been denied so far by the NCAA, but Ole Miss is not done appealing that yet.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, he just impressed me so much.
Well, he'd like to get a 6th year of eligibility. But right now he's been rejected by the NCAA. And one of the problems is where he was at Ferris State, which was a Division III school.
Yes.
They need some medical records that they have not been able to obtain yet.
Yeah, he really looked good against George. I mean, he really very impressive.
He did, but he's an unknown at this point because he may be back for a 6th year.
And I think Indiana is gonna win it. I think Miami will play pretty well, but I just don't see them.
Everybody is sort of giving the nod to Indiana. I favor them too, but I'm not overlooking Miami.
Yeah,
and the reason why is that team has some talent, particularly defensive talent. That's a very good defense, and you've got a starting quarterback with the pedigree, who's healthy now, who has just been lights out in their run through the playoffs in Carson Beck, the old Georgia quarterback.
Yeah.
And, and they've got talent on offense, too. That freshman receiver they've got is unbelievable. So I give them a puncher's chance in the game. But we're going to talk about that in depth at the bottom of the hour if you remain and listen. Mike Huguenin, longtime college football writer and editor, will join me at 11:30 to talk about the national championship game and a lot of other interesting things that are going on in college football.
Yeah,
one of them I'm going to ask him about is Trinidad Chambliss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing about Pitt, the Panthers basketball. It doesn't look like they're going to make any noise in the tournament. I mean, in the
ACC.
Conference.
They finally won their first ACC game the other night against Georgia Tech, but he's in his 8th year.
I know, yeah.
And he's only made one tournament, and they were expecting a lot more than this. I really think that the new athletic director is going to have to take a long, hard look at not just the men's program at Pitt, but the women's program is in a shambles as well.
That's true, yes. You're right, George. Okay, George. Well, thank you, and you have a nice day.
You too. Thanks for the call. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right. So we're moving along here in hour number 2. We're going to have Mike Huguenin on with some college football talk here at the bottom of the hour. But we've got time to stick in another call if you want to jump in. Pick up the phone. Dial the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. That number is 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. Love to hear from you on a variety of subjects. We touched on one that we hadn't really talked about. That's college hoops with that last caller. And the college hoop schedule today, Pitt is in action tonight. The Panthers sitting at a disappointing 8-9 on the campaign with some really, really bad losses to people like Quinnipiac and Hofstra. And they're hosting number 20 Louisville tonight. Cards at 12-5. That's an 8 p.m. game at the Peterson Events Center. Duquesne at 9-8 has a 12:30 tip-off at the Rose Hill Gymnasium in the Bronx against the Fordham Rams. The Rams are 10-8. West Virginia in action at 6 p.m. at the Coliseum, hosting the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado 12-5. West Virginia 11-6. Penn State plays tomorrow in the Big Ten, a noontime tip-off at Maryland against the Terps. That's on your college basketball schedule for your local teams. All right, we're going to get a break in. And then when we come back, we're going to be joined by one of my favorite guests, great college football writer and editor, longtime college football writer and editor, Mike Huguenin will join me next. We'll preview Indiana and Miami Monday night and talk about some of the other juicy news from the world of college football. That is coming your way next here on the Sportsline.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or
Hi, come on in. How are you?
for personal, professional health care you can trust, see Dr. Paul Hardley and nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckhart, and Stacy Morris, proudly serving our community for over 30 years. Need care today? Walk-ins are always welcome. For your primary care, call Dr. Paul Hartley at 724-437-1109 or visit ppcp.org. Or
serving number 3,940.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Chris Parker Jr., it's a new year and a great time to save at Autoland on a new Hyundai.
All with the quality that lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty. Hyundai owner assurance with 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain protection, 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper protection, and unlimited roadside assistance. We still have a great selection of new vehicles at pre-tariff prices and 0% financing. Or how about leasing a 26 Elantra SE for $199 per month or a 26 Kona SE crossover for $219 per month? Just see us for details.
Conveniently located in downtown Uniontown and family-owned for over 60 years, Autoland Hyundai has been voted best in Fayette import dealership and one of the best new car dealerships. Another reason is dealing with friendly hometown salespeople, and the third reason is Autoland's award-winning service department, who will continue to take care of you and your Hyundai after the sale.
You can also visit us at AutolandHyundai.com. And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
NovaCare Rehabilitation in Uniontown is accessible for all of your recovery needs. New at NovaCare is pelvic floor physical therapy, a specialized program to treat patients with pelvic floor dysfunction related to bladder, bowel, sexual function, and pregnancy postpartum. These issues can affect both women and men and include urinary frequency, urgency and incontinence, pelvic pain, constipation, IBS, menopause, painful periods, and more. Call 724-437-0556 for an appointment in Uniontown. Personalize your care with NovaCare. In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Are delinquent credit cards, medical bills, and personal loans stressing you out? Are you unable to catch up? Are the debt collection calls just too much? If yes, then call Zebley Law at 724-439-9200. Zebley Law provides free in-person consultations. Then, using our decades of experience, we recommend a plan for relief. Before hiring a debt relief company or an out-of-town bankruptcy firm, call the local law firm serving Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties since 2001. Call Zebley Law at 724-439-9200.
WMBS. Hi, this is Bob Walk, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
And welcome back to the Sportsline. Here in hour number 2, national championship game in college football is on tap Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. 10th-rated Miami Hurricanes facing the top-ranked Hoosiers of Indiana. We're going to get into the game in depth and some other juicy tidbits from around the world of college football. And who better to do that with than one of my favorite college football guests, longtime writer and college football editor Mike Huguenin is on the line. Mike, Happy New Year to you. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for the time today.
Yeah, I appreciate having me on. And, yeah, I think Monday night's game is fascinating, frankly, on a bunch of different levels. The idea that Indiana is favored to win a national title in football. You would have said that 10 years ago, and people would have looked at you like you had like 15 heads, because this traditionally is a horrible program. They hired, obviously, the right coach. He's done a great job in the portal. They have the Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback who is a Miami native. So just a ton of storylines for Monday night.
Well, it is incredible because I knew a little bit about Indiana. Some friends of mine over the years had played football there. And I actually, one of my favorite teams when I was a kid was the 1967 team, which was the John Ponce team that had John Eisenberger and Harry Gonzo, those two guys in the Indiana backfield, and they made that miracle run to the Rose Bowl. And I loved those two guys, and I just loved that team. But you're right, it has been a football wasteland, which makes this story even more incredible about the job that Cignetti has done.
Yeah, I think when he was hired, you had people going, well, okay, you're hiring a group of 5 guy. He really hasn't, how do you expect a guy who's coached in Division II, FCS, and group of 5 to do anything at this program? If he gets to a bowl game, Indiana will be ecstatic. And here we are just 2 years into his head coaching tenure, 2 playoff berths. And this year, obviously, they're in the title game. They're favored by 8.5 points. This has been a dominant team in the playoff. I mean, they blew out Alabama, embarrassed Oregon on a lot of levels. A team that you look at them, their recruiting rankings, and these are not high-level guys, but they've coalesced into a really powerful unit. Mendoza is a highly talented quarterback, extremely cerebral, very smart kid, graduated from Cal in 3 years, with mobility, a nice arm. The defense
That's the thing I wanted to ask you about. Because
they got every component needed.
Everybody talks about Indiana's offense and the way they do things and everything. And I have felt all year long that their defensive unit has been their defense is pretty darn good, I think.
Yeah, the secondary flies around. They play a lot of zone. They're extremely well coached. 3 of the 4 starters in the secondary are Florida kids, and they presumably will have that extra chip on their shoulder on Monday night. The linebackers are smart, always in the right place. The defensive front isn't overly big, but they are extremely physical. They're well coached. They do the gap assignment stuff is perfect. Brian Haynes is a really good defensive coordinator. It's just a extremely well coached team that does not make mistakes. They fumbled once this year. They fumbled in the first quarter of the first game and have not lost a fumble since. That's an incredible stat. But yeah, they don't beat themselves, and I think that's a gigantic advantage going against a Miami team that commits a lot of penalties. And in the past couple years, including this regular season, they do stupid stuff and lose. So I think Miami will do something stupid Monday night, which will help lead to their loss.
The other story here locally that everybody's talking about is the Western Pennsylvania connection. Curt Cignetti, born and raised in Western Pennsylvania. His dad coached at West Virginia, and then longtime coach at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Curt actually played quarterback when his dad was in Morgantown, at Morgantown High School. The offensive coordinator is a 2-sport star from Norwin High School on the outskirts of Pittsburgh and played his college football at Pitt, Mike Shanahan. So a lot of interest in Western Pennsylvania in those two guys.
Yeah, I actually used to work with a guy who went to IUPA. And I was working with him when Saban took over at Alabama, and he was intrigued by the idea that Curt Cignetti was on Saban's first staff, and said, "Oh, yeah, I went to IUPA. His dad was the coach there. Blah blah blah." And I think a lot of football fans, well, they know it now, but I mean, Cignetti, the idea if you're on Nick Saban's first staff at Alabama, you know that guy can recruit. And you know that person is detail-oriented. And I think Cignetti, he doesn't recruit the 5-star guy, but he finds guys who are really talented in what Indiana wants to do. And the Indiana attention to detail, you talk to coaches that have played Indiana, and that is one of the first things that always crops up. They know what they're supposed to do, and they do it. And that it's when you got a team they are older. The average age is 23. When they're doing what they're supposed to do, those are kind of teams that are hard to beat. Cerebral, physical, aggressive. Mendoza's really good. They got a phenomenal receiving core, extremely underrated. Offensive line's good. It's just a good all-around team. Now, they are playing on Miami's home field, but it will be a sellout, which Miami never sees. And I'm expecting at least 40% Indiana fans there.
I've heard possibly even more than 40%.
They've traveled exceedingly well.
Yeah.
So if you're an Indiana fan, yeah, everything's going great now. So the idea that Indiana could win its first national title, if I'm an IU fan of a long tenure, I'm in Miami on Monday.
Right.
Because I can't believe this is happening. Yeah. So... but I don't think Indiana's going anywhere anytime soon.
And not that I'm a movie producer or anything, but boy, what a movie script this would be.
Yeah, and I think people would look at it and go, this is a Disney movie that has no basis in reality. Because seriously, Indiana, if it's not the worst Power 5 program, it's one of the 3 worst. K-State would be there too. They turned around under Snyder, but they went to 1 Rose Bowl ever. They rarely win games. And generally football is, okay, we got 6 weeks until basketball practice opens. So as long as we get to October 15th, without embarrassing ourselves, we're fine for football, and then we can put it away for another year. But now, if I'm an Indiana fan, I'm floating on cloud 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, because this is amazing.
Let's talk a little bit about the other team. They're underdogs, even though they're playing in their own backyard. not an awful lot of pundits all over football are giving them much of a shot. I give them a puncher's chance. I'm worried about the mistakes that you talk about, but if they're able to eliminate that, I look at that roster. There are some talented players on that Miami roster.
Yeah, I think if you went head-to-head against the IU guys, Miami would win that. Their roster is deep. They have extremely good lines on both sides of the ball. This will be the best defensive line Indiana has seen. I think it will be the best offensive line Indiana has seen. You look at the two defensive ends, Akeem Messidor, Ruben Bain. Messidor's a former.
I wanted to ask you about them. They were a little banged up. Are they going to be okay?
Yeah, they're going to be fine. And the Indiana offensive line has played extremely well this year. Mendoza's got a good escapability, good mobility, but Miami did a phenomenal job against Trinidad Chambliss, keeping him in the pocket. I think they were more worried about keeping him in the pocket than they were about getting a sack, because when Chambliss was on the move, he's extremely dangerous. So Mendoza is mobile. He's not as quick as Chambliss, but Miami, I think, will have a really nice plan for Mendoza. Corey Hetherington, their first-year defensive coordinator who came from Minnesota, I don't know why more people aren't talking about the job he has done this year. Yes, Miami spent money and got a whole new secondary, but this is still a lot of the same dudes up front. The linebackers are nothing special, but that defensive front is exceedingly good, and that offensive line is gigantic. These are massive.
There are a couple of real studs on that line.
Yeah, Francis Malinois, the right tackle, will be a first-round pick. Markel Bell, who's 6'8", 350 at left tackle, will be drafted. I think the weak link is Brockemeyer, the center, so we'll see what Indiana can attack there. But Miami's also got Mark Fletcher, a 6'1", 230-pound running back who has played phenomenal football in the playoffs. So
he's really been good, and they talk about what a good guy he is for the program. I guess Cristobal just raves about him. Are you there?
They also got Carson Beck, who's played in a lot of games.
And he sort of resurrected himself, right?
Yeah, he did. He was the object of a lot of derision in the offseason because of some social media stuff that happened. But he has gotten the last laugh. Though I will say, the two games they lost, the opposing teams, SMU and Louisville, got in his face, and he threw horrible passes. So he is not, he is not as calm in the pocket as Mendoza is. I think Mendoza, even in the face of pressure, stays calm. Beck does not. So that will be interesting to watch Monday night. Can Indiana get pressure on him, make him throw some bad throws? And again, Cristobal deserves a ton of credit. He's built this team in his image, the strong line play. Got a lot of Miami, South Florida guys on the roster like he is. But he's also a guy who Miami lost twice this year. 2 games they had zero business losing. That happens to Miami every single season. And I trust Cristobal. I trust Signetti more than I trust Cristobal. And I trust Mendoza more than I trust Beck. I think that Beck will make a mistake or two. I think Cristobal will make a coaching error or two. And I think that will help Indiana win the game.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about Miami, because I've been so impressed with him, and it is a little bit scary when you realize he's just a freshman. That young wide receiver for them, for Miami.
Graduated a year early. He should be in high school right now.
He's been amazing.
Yeah, he was a quarterback at Hollywood Chaminade Madonna, which is one of the best private school programs in Florida, which makes it one of the best private school programs in the nation. Was not a huge recruit because he was a 5'10", 5'9" quarterback. Most schools were looking at him as a wide receiver in this 2026 class. Instead, he signed a year early. He is a gigantic weapon. And if I'm Indiana, I'm extremely worried about him. The other Miami receivers are nothing special, but they can win one-on-one matchups because that's what they always get because everybody's so worried about Tony. Mm-hmm. So it's Miami's got, and Fletcher and Tony Messidor and Bain. Miami's got 4 guys who are big-time playmakers. Then you throw in Carson Beck, who at times can make plays. That's a lot of firepower on both sides of the ball. So I think the 8.5-point spread is way too much. I think this game will be close. I think Mendoza, what a phenomenal story this kid is. He grew up in Miami. His dad played high school football with Cristobal. So they grew up huge Cane fans. Miami did not want him out of high school. So he goes to Cal, which was his only Power 5, actually it was his only FBS scholarship offer. He was headed to Yale. So Miami did want him out of the portal last year. He chose Indiana, obviously smart move on his part, but I think he'll have a big chip on his shoulder as well because he grew up wanting to play for Miami, and they didn't want him. So I think that will add a little extra emphasis to Mendoza's play Monday night.
Well, Mike, I hope you're right. I'm hoping for a good game. I'd really like to see a good football game. Yeah. And I think all the fans would like that.
Yeah, I think the Miami defense will do its part. The key guy to me is Beck. Can Indiana pressure him into mistakes?
Well, if it is a close game, who gets the edge on special teams?
That's an interesting question. I think Miami's got better return guys. I don't, the Miami kicker transferred from FAU. He's been a little bit uneven. I would give Indiana the kicking advantage, but I'll be honest. I don't think Cristobal or Cignetti's thinking this game's coming down to field goals. So I'm also interested in seeing which team sort of rolls the dice more. Because I think that if I'm Indiana, I'm confident, and I'm rolling the dice more.
Let's get into some other juicy tidbits, Mike Huguenin, going on in college football. I had a caller just before you came on to me, with me, asking about Trinidad Chambliss and his situation. I guess he's been denied again, but they're not done appealing, right? For a 6th year.
6th year. He didn't play 2 years of Division II. But this is unlike the Diego Pavia situation where he played junior college ball, and the judge said, "Well, you don't count those junior college years." I don't know how Chambliss would win a case. That he was already in the NCAA. He did not play junior college ball. Yes, he played Division II. He didn't have the NIL opportunities, but so what? And I think part of his suit is, you're costing me money because I can make more money in NIL than I can in the NFL. Well, my answer to that, would be, well, that you're like 99% of the guys in college football, and just because you can't make as much in the NFL doesn't mean you deserve an extra year. But it will be interesting to see. I don't think he's getting an extra year. Ole Miss has already signed a quarterback out of the portal. Deuce Knight from Auburn, who was a 5-star recruit in the last cycle. I think that Deuce Knight will be Ole Miss's starter next year.
So, if Chambliss is denied a 6th year, that would throw him into the NFL draft. That changes some things with the quarterback class, doesn't it?
Money in the NFL. He's a smart, cerebral quarterback. Great mobility. Yes, he's short. I think if he goes to the right team with the right OC, he can become an effective NFL quarterback. Do I think he's going to be some kind of superstar? No, but I think he can be a competent NFL quarterback. And it adds to the class. You have Simpson coming out from Alabama. Interesting. Dante Moore said, "No, I'm going to stay at Oregon." So, Moore was obviously a first-round pick. Chambliss is not, but I think that Chambliss, the idea that Dante Moore is staying in college, if I'm Trinidad Chambliss, that makes me happy.
Okay. The thing that's interesting to me, being here in Pittsburgh, the draft's going to be in Pittsburgh this year. The Steelers in the market for a quarterback. Everybody was pointing to 2026 as a great year for quarterbacks coming out of college, and it hasn't really panned out that way. Some of the guys had disappointing years, didn't they, Mike?
The top of the list. Dante Moore staying in school. That if you want a first-round quarterback, as uneven as he was at times, he had first-round talent. last year, I was not a Jackson Dart fan. He surprised me with how, well, frankly, easily he adapted to the NFL. I think Mendoza can be a good NFL quarterback, but I'll be honest. If I'm Fernando Mendoza, I'm like, oh my God, I might go to the Raiders. So that to me is a nightmare, because certain franchises are run poorly, and if you end up there, you could be lost in the wash, so to speak. So I don't think this is a great year for quarterbacks in the draft. I think Mendoza can be a good starter, but I wonder about the team he goes to. Chambliss, to me, is a second-day pick who could be okay. But overall, I think everybody is a little bit looking at the 2026 quarterback class and thinking, oh, my goodness, what could have been, because it did not turn out that way. Cade Klubnik was horrible this year. Manning started off slow, eventually got better, but at no point this season I thought that he looked like a top 3 pick in the draft. It's going to be interesting to see what teams who want quarterbacks end up doing, and you wonder if a guy like Kirk Cousins benefits from the lackluster quarterback class.
One other thing I wanted to ask you concerning name, image, likeness, and all of the things going on with that. Boy, the Washington quarterback situation turned into an interesting thing, didn't it?
Sorry, Damon Williams signed a contract with Washington to stay, and then he announces, well, I'm entering the transfer portal anyway. I don't think there's any doubt but that he was tampered with. Then Washington comes out and says, if you leave, we're suing you. The Big Ten came out and said, we will join Washington in its lawsuit against you, Damon Williams. So then Williams ends up staying. There was an incident at Florida State. They have two twin defensive linemen. They signed to a minuscule NIL deal out of high school. They had a phenomenal spring practice, so FSU renegotiated. FSU renegotiated again at the end of the season. The two twins, the Desir twins, decided, well, we're going to the portal anyway. FSU threatened a lawsuit. Those guys announced yesterday they were staying, or Thursday rather, they were staying at Florida State. Now you got Darian Mensah, who signed a 2-year NIL deal with Duke. He says, yeah, I did, but so what? I'm going into the portal. I don't think there's any doubt but that he was tampered with, and I think one of the teams Monday night is one of the teams that tampered with.
I think it might be Miami, right?
Yes, you are correct. And, another thing that has irritated me, the Tennessee AD, Danny White, came out and said, you got schools who aren't following the rules. This has to stop. Well, you know something, Mr. White? Name the teams or be quiet. You had the Southeastern Louisiana coach, Frank Selfo, say that there was a team in the SEC who called my players up and told them to enter the portal. Southeastern Louisiana had a really good season at the FCS ranks. Again, which team in the SEC did that? You got coaches and administrators complaining about stuff, and that's fine. But if you're not going to put a name to your complaints, be quiet, because you're not helping anything. Again, if I'm the AD at Tennessee and I have proof that schools are cheating when it comes to NIL, why wouldn't you want to clean this up? It's like you live in an HOA, and this is a little hyperbolic, but your neighbor's running a meth lab, and you call up the HOA and go, there's somebody in our neighborhood running a meth lab. Well, who is it? Well, I can't tell you, but trust me, it's being done. I don't understand why more coaches and administrators don't step up and say, school A, B, and C are cheating, and here's how they're doing it. If you want to clean it up, you have to step up and name names.
Well, I've said it before. It's the Wild West out there, and the chaos continues. I really enjoyed the conversation. Looking forward to a really good matchup Monday night in the national championship game between Indiana and Miami. And Mike, as always, very informative. Thanks for coming on with me. Okay, you take care. Mike Huguenin, with some great college football talk. We will wrap things up here on the Sportsline right after this.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Are you looking for the perfect way to brighten someone's day? At Perry Floral and Gift Shop in Perryopolis, every bouquet is handcrafted with care. Fresh, vibrant, and designed to make any moment unforgettable. From birthdays and anniversaries to just because, their florists create arrangements that speak from the heart. Browse unique gifts, seasonal decor, and charming keepsakes you won't find anywhere else. Stop in today or call to order fast local delivery. Perry Floral and Gift Shop, where every bloom tells a story.
Looking for a fireplace? Koval Building Supply at 40 Monroe Avenue in Uniontown is more than your plumbing supply store. We specialize in fireplaces of all fuel types, such as gas, wood, pellet, and electric. We're now featuring Harmon pellet stoves from Forge and Flame, perfect for keeping your family warm and cozy. Call Koval today at 724-437-8824 or visit kovalsupply.com to start planning for the winter season. Koval Building Supply, everything you need to make your house feel like home.
People I trust, it's the place I go. Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Planning on some home improvement projects in 2026? Stop in Home Warehouse on Connellsville Street, again voted a Best in Fayette place for windows and home improvements for the past 3 years. Home Warehouse is your one-stop shop for all your home exterior needs. There are beautiful windows, doors, and storm doors that will update your home, keep out drafts, and save on energy. Plus, roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, siding, soffit and fascia, railing, as well as flooring, home and gun safes, and dog food too. So for great prices and hometown service, stop in and see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse. Open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to 12 noon.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
It's a new day at WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, and we're bringing a new level of quality healthcare to our community. From primary care to specialty services, our team has always put patients first. And now, thanks to our merger with WVU Medicine, our commitment to patient-centered care has grown even stronger. With new resources, a growing staff, and advanced technology, our team is here to provide you with top-quality care when it matters most. Discover the new Uniontown Hospital and see how we've grown.
Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Bill Hillgrove, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on your local station, WMBS.
And the dulcet tones of Mr. Hillgrove. He'll be behind the mic at the Peterson Event Center tonight as the Pitt Panthers play host to number 20 Louisville at the Peterson Event Center. A disappointing season so far for Jeff Capel and the Panthers, coming in at 8-9, and he's got to be on the hot seat a little bit in his 8th year at Pitt. He's only had one NCAA tournament appearance in 8 years. Not exactly what they were looking for. Well, that puts a capper on this edition of the Sports Line. Hope you enjoyed the Open Line Sports Talk. Some great phone calls and a great conversation with one of my favorite college football guests, longtime college football writer and editor Mike Huguenin, as we dissected the national championship game Monday night between Miami of Florida and Indiana, and talked about some of the other interesting news. It's never a dull moment these days in college athletics. And I didn't even get to one of the big stories in college athletics, and that is 26 different players in college basketball have been indicted in a point-shaving scandal, which is just the tip of the iceberg, I think. And that's another area that's going to be rocking college athletics right now. And a lot of it they brought on themselves by getting in bed with these big-time betting services. That is really going to be something that bears watching moving forward. Keep that dial right where it is. Do not touch it. Some great music coming up after the news here at the top of the hour. My friend Arnie Amber is in the house with Oldies Unlimited, and he'll be spinning some great jams for you after the latest news here at the top of the hour. George Von Benko bidding you and yours a very, very pleasant good afternoon. The Sports Line this morning has been brought to you by my good friend Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. The news is coming your way next from the CBS Radio Network on your